darkness looks, there lies the freedom in front of me. So I will start on this day, the rise of kingdoms to come, and we will no longer be named by the weather above. So rain down all you want, but our power is in the sun. And when our planets do align, our nation will become victorious.
Let it be, all that weakness, rest in peace. I learned about the recipe when I was younger, recklessly. Now I'm chasing the glory, gonna be fine. Working so hard, matter of time. Never give up, how we define. Taking my chances, breaking a climb. I'ma show them how it's done. On the top level we run. For Osiris, for my son. We show up and pack a punch. This is war, we step up, we gon' never fold. This is legacy, they gon' know me when I go.
So rain down all you want, but our power is in the sun. And when our plans do align, our nation will become victorious. Where you stand and spit upon the ground. But when those horns sound off, pray to the Lord, you've been righteous now. I say rain down all you want, but our power is in the sun. And when our planets do align, our nation will become victorious.
This is war, we don't stop, what's in store, where we start, we deploy. They don't wanna see us win, so we gon' show them all the voice. To the top, we enjoy, when my partners don't avoid. Want the glory, silence noise, here for life, made a choice.
The smoke clears the air. I'm the only one standing. The darkness looks, there lies the freedom in front of me. So I will start on this day, the rise of kingdoms to come, and we will no longer be named by the weather above. So rain down all you want, but our power is in the sun. And when our planets do align, our nation will become victorious.
Let it be, all that weakness, rest in peace. I learned about the recipe when I was younger, recklessly. Now I'm chasing the glory, gonna be fine. Working so hard, matter of time. Never give up, how we define. Taking my chances, breaking.
Wake up, sundown. Creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare. It's dangerous, they'll linger in the dark. Climb from below, temples and meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the metric and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. Yeah. I gladly give my life. All my people in my kingdom point the way. There's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height, and the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life ain't nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies across the vast wild desert. Move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the metric and the omen of the mind.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dragothian, and I will be your host today for what is going to be the semifinals round of the grand finals. Welcome back after a nice little brief hiatus of getting four, well, at least some of them are new, 4 alliances crowned champions of their respective realms. Let's jump in here and see exactly what I'm talking about. We have 75 DC in the realm of Sobek being the champions of Season 7 Osiris League. We have 1960s 60 GT in the realm of Anubis, 93T in the realm of Horus. In the realm of Bastet, produced 489 as the champions of their respective realms in Osiris League Season 7. Now, that's over. That's done. We've come back in just a few weeks. We get to start it all over again. These teams were not done battling it out. We give you a little bit more competition and a little more battle as we go into the grand finals of Osiris League Season 7. Now, there's at least 3 weeks of matches, possibly 4, depending on how some of these play out. But this week is an elimination match for both of these teams that you'll be seeing today on this stream. That's going to be 75 DC from the realm of Sobek and 60 GT from the realm of Anubis. Both teams looking to move on to the finals round, where there will be 3 weeks, possibly 2, depending on if there's 2 wins in a row, for you to get to enjoy coming here and watching the casting and the gameplay and the strategies. We've seen quite a bit of new strategies employed this season. Had a great time casting those for you and showcasing that alongside of experiencing it myself for the first time. But that being said, I think we're going to see some things today where you're going to see Realm of Sobek, which is one of the newer realms, versus Realm of Anubis, which has been around for a while. And again, 60 GT being one of the most winningest, if not the winningest, they are the winningest alliance inside of the Osiris League match. So with that being said, let's jump into the gameplay. We're going to be going through here. And again, just as a reminder, we do have a 10-minute delay because there is the sentry system and the fog of war inside of this now. And I also will be hiding the skills that we have available for both of these teams as well. Let's go ahead and jump into the match, and let's have a great match for everybody to watch as we go through this next hour. All right, so you have the Temple of Osiris. A couple other quick reminders, right? We do have the top left here. This is going to be 75 DC. They're in blue. They are going ahead and starting to teleport in now, although it looks like maybe there's going to be a couple coming in maybe towards the end, because I think this is 7, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So yeah, there's definitely more coming in that are not quite here yet. Maybe some backups, maybe some extra vanguards. And now we have 60 GT as well. The other thing is both of these teams are currently in KVK, although 60 GTs is a newer KVK, just as hellish as the other ones. And they're going to be fighting in front of us today in Osiris League Grand Finals. And then also 75 DC is in KVK right now, but they, I believe, have already won their KVK and Kingsland is sorted. So 60 GT in a little bit more of a different situation as they're currently fighting in their next zone, whereas 75 DC is kind of clinched up their KVK. Now, a couple of quick reminders again. We're going to be having a couple different rules based on the Grand Finals rules versus the regular Season 7 Osiris League rules. First off, all the players in this match have access to all the commanders, not just what you have on your current account. They have access to everything. So all commanders are equal. They also are going to get 4 million T5 troops available to them, as well as 500,000 T1 troops to go ahead and capture objectives fast and do some kind of farm moving and things like that. We also do have no access to equipment. So equipment is an even type of thing. The buffs are equal. All the alliance skills are equal. Everything is equal in these grand finals. I think eventually, as we start this match in about 30 seconds, I think eventually this game mode of the grand finals will start to translate to the Osiris League system as well, just simply because it's more even for everybody and skill sets and strategies play a bigger part versus how many more T5 and how many better commanders and better equipment and all that will be impactful. So I'm looking to see this eventually translate into the normal Osiris League system, and that would be something that will really benefit everybody involved. But as we are going, let's go ahead and unsimplify these graphics, and let's go ahead and watch as 60 GT starts pouring out of their zone. It looks like, again, let me jump to the top here. Is everybody here for 75 DC? That's 21, 22, 23, 24. They're a little short. They're a little short right now. So 75 DC might not have a full complement of players, whereas 60 GT has 28, 29. They're actually short one as well. Very interesting. We do see all these players starting to bring out their marches and get the ball rolling. Blue team pouring out from their side as well, looking to grab their obelisks as they go along. Again, we're looking to see which obelisks get taken quickly, if there's going to be any kind of a delay between the two different ones. I think that, again, 60 GT has the advantage right now just from being able to have won these multiple times already. 75 DC being the new winner of Realm of Sobek. Don't have the opportunity yet to have that many wins under their belt. But we do have the obelisk getting captured here on the bottom lane for 75 DC very quickly. I expect to see the red marker hit on the obelisk very similarly timing-wise as well. We do have hidden sentry being used already. There's the first obelisk. There's the first outpost being taken by 60 GT. Surprised this isn't taken already. 75 DC a little faster on the grab on the obelisk, and that's going to be, let's see, about 15, 16, almost 20 seconds behind, not the end of the world, but very uncharacteristic of 60 GT, as they usually are very much on point on that stuff. Hidden sentries being used across the board. Obelisk taken, the farthest obelisk taken for 75 DC, right alongside of 60 GT as well. So both sides are going to be having relatively similar port-in times. We do see some rallies coming in as well. Let's look at the rally tab. All of them, all of them are for what looks to be from, are they from 60 GT? There's no rally. That can't be right. there's no rallies from 75 DC. That's kind of a shock to me if that's actually the case. But yeah, 60 GT has all their rallies rolling. Maybe that's a maybe that's just a lot. Yeah, maybe that's just a single march coming towards that obelisk. No rallies launched from 75 DC. That is very weird. Definitely different strategy from the norm. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these obelisks as we see the marches coming out. Of course, there's going to be a heavy contention for both the desert altars on the top and bottom lane. That's usually where most of the action starts to take place. We do have a hidden sentry right on top of this desert altar. I mean, it cannot be anymore. I mean, literally, it looks like it's on top. If I move the camera just a little bit over here, it looks like they placed their sentry right on top of the desert altar. Of course, it's just a little bit north of it, but I like the graphic. So 60 GT continuing to position and doing very well to defend their Shrine of Life, which is something that a lot of teams have struggled with. But this is something that they want to make sure that they grab right away. Shrine of Life now, again, with this season, buffs have changed. 5% troop health and 5% march speed are the bonuses versus healing speed. So very strong buffs that you want to have throughout this matchup. Keeping your Shrine of Life, giving you those buffs is going to be very critical as we look to see these first matches pop off. Look to see these first fights pop off. There's some T1 marches coming from GT there. There's another rally from 60 GT. Again, just very weird. No rallies from 75 DC. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's accurate. I haven't really seen any rallies from the blue team, so maybe that's accurate and it's just, again, not very good. But again, just remember, guys, it looks like the 75 DC team here is short on players. 2 more coming in here. Did they not get the memo that it is at 15 UTC? I'm just not quite sure. We do have 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 now on the side for 75 DC, but that is still going to be short. Did that last player end up popping in? They sure did for 60 GT. So GT does have the full complement of players, whereas 75 DC is still short 4 players. That is 20 marches, guys, or 16. Yeah, 20 marches not available for the field. That's reinforcement marches. That's middle team marches. That's rally marches, considering we haven't seen any rallies. Very surprising from 75 DC. I just have to question what's going on here, as this is the grand finals. And if you win, you get to go to the finals, whereas if you lose, you are out of the grand finals competition. We do have marches coming alongside of 60 GT here from their main base, really kind of cleaning the open field here of 75 DC, just simply because it looks like they just have more players. And just like that, everything's getting captured. It does. 75 DC did grab this at the beginning, but just nothing here to complement holding it for 75 DC. And just like that, almost the entire map is red. And really all that's left is the obelisks and 1 outpost that maintains its blue color. And that looks to be maybe something that is going to be short-lived, as we see 75 DC porting in their marches here, porting in their cities, looking down the barrel of a full red map. This is exactly what you don't want to see if you're a 75 DC fan. 75 DC looking to try and at least hold their obelisk areas. They do take their Shrine of War back, so that's good for them. That's going to start hopefully grabbing them some not only points eventually, but also the first occupation score points. First occupation scores have not been given out yet, and with this entire map being almost red, that's going to be a big boost for 60 GT as we look to go into the middle here very shortly with 6 minutes until the arc spawns. We have the obelisks for both teams still holding firm at their respective colors, but we just have to wonder, is 60 GT just going to A-move across the map and just start pushing everything across the map and ultimately turning everything red and then starting to look at the, oh no. They're still not here in full force. Let's see. We have 28 to 30, still too short of their total total cities that they're supposed to have in this map here. The Shrine of War still blue at the moment. 2 minutes until it gives at least some first occupation score points, which is 400. But again, the altars providing 750, which is definitely critical. And all 4 altars currently are in the 60 GT's hands. And again, 5 minutes, 20 seconds until this arc spawns in the middle. We already have a hidden sentry being placed for 75 DC in the middle, with lines coming towards it. So possibly going to be coming early, understanding that the structure game is going to be very, very hard to win at the moment. 60 GT still holding all 4 altars. 50 seconds until first occupation score points are provided. And then you start to tick minute by minute points, which will get out of hand very quickly if some of these buildings don't turn back blue. We do have the Desert Altar on the top lane, still under assault by 75 DC, trying to grab this back. But Jan Ziska is in the garrison with some decent reinforcements on the field as well for 60 GT, with nothing coming behind it. So as long as they hold it for 20 more seconds, which it looks like they're going to be able to do, they will grab all of these first occupation score points as we see the middle fight start to form for 75 DC on the top lane. Let's go ahead and get some tunes in the background as well. Some of our amazing Osiris League crafted music as well. 60 GT coming up the back lane here, looking to possibly take the Shrine of War and then come in around the back, as 75 DC is the first arrivals to the mid fight here. 3 minutes 55 seconds until the arc spawns, but again, points are already generated. Look at this, 5400 to 400 right off the bat. A huge lead for 60 GT as we get almost all of the first occupation score points for 60 GT in their bucket. There's another 400 coming from the Shrine of War on the bottom lane here for 75 DC, which narrows the gap just a smidge. But again, per minute now, they're definitely outpacing 970 points per minute versus only 150. Red team versus blue team. Blue team, 75 DC positioning right at the temple, looking to hopefully make up some ground here. But they are already well over 1 arc behind with all these first occupation score points going towards 60 GT's red team. 75 DC still positioning north of the northwest of the Temple of Osiris. We do have the Sky Altar still red on the bottom lane, and the Desert Altar still red on the top lane. It's looking like 60 GT really making it difficult for 75 DC to take back their structures. We have 29 combatants now for 75 DC. I'm hoping to see them get to 30 at some point today. But we're going to have to see how things go along here as we see this middle fight start to shape up. 60 GT pouring into the middle, not wanting to step off the throat of 75 DC's lesser amount of players. Getting started very quickly here is 60 GT, and again, looking to take the Shrine of War here very quickly too. There it is. Now again, buffs taken away from 75 DC right before the mid-fight starts. 2 minutes until this mid-fight is going to have something to fight over. We do see 60 GT coming up here and taking the Shrine of Life away from 75 DC as well. 75 DC really just not looking like they have nearly enough players in the middle as 60 GT pours into their bubble here. This will change because 1V did not make it into the grand finals. They didn't get to even make it to the finals. 93T taking that advantage and ultimately winning. 75 DC continuing to pour into the middle, but getting harassed on the back lines. Looks like one player here doing a one-man army situation, but causing a lot of havoc. Even though they may die, they're definitely causing a lot of AoE damage alongside of a lot of delay as the arc spawns here in just over 1 minute. 60 GT starting to progress towards the middle here. 75 DC looking to maybe hold their ground. I don't know if they're going to want to hold their ground very much. Do have 2 splitters here going off for 60 GT. Little pincer maneuver possibly. Maybe a distraction to pull marches away from the mid-fight that's starting right now. Here comes the fight. We do have more and more 60 GT coming into the middle. Same thing for 75 DC, but they're half dead because of that player on the back line. Mid-fight begins. We already see some of the 75 DC players going back with sad faces. I don't see any skills being used right now. There's no dust up. There's no total vision. There's no... Oh, we're just going to pop to the death at the beginning after half of your marches are dead. Okay, so that did not go the way that 75 DC planned it. Maybe that popped earlier than what it actually looked like, because half their marches are already dead. before it came up on our screen. So maybe they popped it earlier. And I think they probably knew they needed to, considering they were lower on the troop count than was 60 GT. So in the meantime, during this fight, the Desert Altar in the top lane was taken back by 75 DC. So they did start hopefully generating points for themselves in about minute 40 seconds. Meanwhile, though, 60 GT crushing the mid fight and grabbing the arc and coasting it back with a quickness. Small escort as the rest of the team cleans up the blue team on the middle of the map. We do see 60 GT also harassing, trying to get their own buildings back. 75 DC, I should say, I'm sorry. Taking their Shrine of War. Trying to take back their Sky Altar, but 60 GT already repositioned to effectively defend this, not going to get that Sky Altar back. They did lose the Desert Altar, so 75 DC is going to start generating points in 1 minute for that, but Arc is grabbed. 3,000 points in 60 GT's back pocket, walking casually towards the Shrine of War. On the top lane, we have them peeling back out towards their respective lanes on the top and bottom. 60 GT going towards anything blue at the moment, which is a very small portion of the map right now. We do have the Desert Altar as well, continuing to count down, hopefully ticking points for the 75 DC blue team, but 60 GT seeing that, deciding let's make some moves. Just like that, there's a lot of cavalry coming your way if you're a 75 DC player, and that's going to be a hard task to go overcome as more and more marches come in for both teams. Arc is still moving. Looks like they may try to capture it at the shrine right away. There's not really anything to hold it for from a reset standpoint, as that was such a convincing middle victory for 60 GT. We do have Dust Up being used by 60 GT as well, delaying the movement speed of 75 DC, along with a nice debuff as well. Well, a nice buff for your own march, which you could say is a debuff for the enemy. 60 GT clearing the field here, looking to grab this back from Jan Ziska from 75 DC. Shrine of War, or Sky Altar, also looking very strong for 60 GT. Shrine of War retaken by 60 GT. 1 minute 20 seconds until that starts ticking points again. 740 to 130 is the points per minute difference. And that Desert Altar does in fact go down in favor of 60 GT. Minute 50 until that starts ticking positive points as well. Shrine of Life taken back by 75 DC. And looking to make some moves, possibly trying to go after this Sky Altar. Easy for 60 GT to become complacent with the map the way it looks right now, as well as that mid-fight the way it went. Maybe 75 DC looking to capitalize. Oh, we actually have lost some members on 75 DC. Two players have left the building. So our hopes for getting 30 members for the blue team, unfortunately, will be dashed, at least for right now. Another rally coming in. Now we're starting to attack the Obelisks. 1960 pushing into the home area of the blue team, 75 DC. Blue team doing everything they can to at least make this an honest fight. But 60 GT making that very difficult on them by clearing the open field pretty much everywhere they're at on the map and taking all of the main point generating structures, except for this one Shrine of Life, which eventually looks like it might actually still go down. There's an Ethelfled looking very vulnerable. Sitting there just waiting for its inevitable demise. Obelisk taken by 60 GT on the bottom lane. Look to see if maybe they start porting in and clearing the open field of the marches as well as the cities. Again, remember, all players getting the same amount of troops. So that's why everybody here is over 200 million power. 4 million troops for each troop type, alongside of T1 marches as well. Conversely, a little bit higher on the 200 millions is these 63 or 60 GT marches. We have 1 minute 15 seconds until that Obelisk flips red for good and can get ported into, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Shrine of Life does go down in favor of the red team here as 60 GT continues to push across the map and a move towards the next Obelisk. which has multiple marches coming in to swarm it. Don't know if Joan Prime is the proper garrison that they're looking to have here, and it is taking heavy damage. Looks like it might actually go down relatively quickly as this swarm is getting out of hand. A lot of these marches are almost dead, but there is more coming in on the back end. Obelisk is still blue. We'll have to see for how long. Rally coming in for 60 GT as well. Going to be hard to find a spot. And just like that, it goes red. That rally turning into a transport rally. And now there's an Ethelfled garrison looking to hold the fort down. Let's see if we see a proper garrison from 60 GT coming up here. Don't see one yet. Yeah, still open field marches there. Plenty of blue team members here. Looks like 75D. Oh, okay, so this is portable. Here we go. We do have 60 GT porting in here. Yep. 75 DC was looking to block teleport spots, but unfortunately for them, not quite quick enough. And we do see the Obelisk here holding strong against the swarm of 75 DC, even though the marches, or the city's just porting in for 60 GT. Probably going to start feeding this Obelisk to hold firm on this, but I gotta tell you, this is looking very bad for 75 DC. Almost all the buildings are red right now. 3 outposts and a Shrine of War is all that 75 DC has to their name now. 2 obelisks. As that obelisk goes back down in favor of the blue team, that's going to reset the timer. So 60 GT will not be able to port into here. Oh, here we go again. That reset the timer for 2 minutes. That's now red again. More marches coming in for 60 GT. Obviously, there's plenty of marches here for the blue team to pull from, as they're already ported in here, but don't know if it's going to be enough to eventually let 60 GT to take that. And now we see again all the marches coming out for 60 GT. Try and keep this. Looks like that went down, at least for a little bit. So the timer is reset. So no more port-ins for at least 1 minute and 45 seconds. Looks like it'll be for longer, considering. Yep. There it goes back down in favor of the blue team. Now, conversely, this is still in the red team, and it does have a Zenobia in here. So this is going to be very helpful for 60 GT to try and keep this, to port in and continue the fight up on the top lane as well. There's 3 teleports right now. With a minute left, it looks like you should have at least 5 or 6, possibly 7 or 8, depending on if you start to get some teleports from this bottom lane obelisk that was 75 DCs. May not be enough for 60 GT to hold this. They're going to have to concerted effort push and hold this area as we continue. Zenobia looking very suspect. Goes back down in favor of 75 DC. Plenty of 75 DC here to at least hold this. This may be where they take their stand. Shrine of War on the bottom lane is still blue as well, as most of the efforts are going towards the obelisk area. 2 teleports remain. Looks like they may have snagged another teleport over here. 1 minute until this starts to be available for teleport again. I don't know if there's many more teleport spots, though. I think this is pretty much covered up. Maybe 1 or 2. Maybe 1. I still think it's pretty blocked up. So I don't think there's any more teleport spots available in this area. Maybe 1 right here. I don't know. We're going to have to see if any of them are able to port in. Minute left until this obelisk is recaptured by 75 DC. Looking to push towards the Shrine of Life on the top lane here. Meanwhile, again, Desert Altar on the top lane is still well defended by 60 GT. That's going to be their base of operations as they continue to assault this obelisk on the top lane of 75 DC in blue. Outposts are getting no attention from 60 GT, so that's good for 75 DC. They're at least generating some points. 90 points to be accurate. Problem is, there's 990 points being generated per minute by 60 GT. This is a game that's well already out of hand. But we still get to cast this for another 35 minutes, so There's another teleport. Okay, so there was a spot available. Maybe one got teleported out because it burned by accident. Not quite sure. But 75 DC coming over here to try and do the same thing. Unfortunately, Flavius is definitely a very strong garrison defense to a swarm. And now Jan Ziska is the holder of this obelisk, and I doubt that the 60 GT folks are going to try and let them take this again. And it's going to be basically a city attack fest, as there's just as many 75 DC cities here as there are 60 GT cities. Now, if you're a player that has your city burning, which would be very difficult because you have 4 million of each T5. Master strategy being used by 60 GT. That's okay. So I'm assuming they're maybe coming up here. Would be my guess. I'm not sure what's happening. They moved a bunch of their marches to here. Is that accurate? They did. Oh, they grabbed the Ark. Oh yeah, by the way, during all this, the Ark fight happened. And newscast. Newsflash, 60 GT won. I don't think there was anybody actually from the blue team in the mid-fight. I apologize for not going over there, but there was just so much action at the obelisks that I didn't take a notice at the fact that the mid-fight will have begun, had there been a fight to have. This goes red again. Minute 30 seconds until this is teleportable. 4 teleports available for 60 GT. They may want to save those up just in case they grab this so they can start assaulting the obelisk area on the top lane like they have been on the bottom lane. There should definitely be no problems getting your 10,000 points for either of these teams. 2 players here. Looks like they either left early or... Yep, only 1 player from 60 GT not getting their points yet, although that should change very quickly. $50 seconds until Jan Ziska secures the obelisk for 60 GT and allows more port-ins. 3 port-ins available. Looks like somebody used one somewheres. Still plenty of cities in the home base for 60 GT to be able to come out of their hidey hole and come up here, cause some damage. Shrine of Life is still blue at the moment, although that looks like it's about to change. This Justinian rally from GT looks to be handling that relatively easily. Jan Ziska, 12 seconds. 9 seconds. 5 seconds. Let's zoom out a little bit and see if we see some port-ins. Port-ins are available. 10 port-ins available for 60 GT. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th spot here. 6th spot here. Still 6. There we go. 5. Looks like 60 GT is restructuring the map in their image. The entire map, except for 2 outposts, are red. The problem is going to be, because of the mechanics of Grand Finals, GT will have a very hard time dislodging the cities that are already on the outpost area of the blue team, because all of these players have so many troops available. Just swarming them down is really not going to be something that's going to cause them to catch fire. So again, oh, there it goes back to the blue team there. Still 3 teleports available for 60 GT. They're going to have to wait at least another 2 minutes. Back 2 minutes on the dot if they decide to hold it. But that's the thing, like, it's going to be hard to dislodge 75 DC from the obelisk area just simply because, oh, there goes one right there. Looks like it was a disconnect though. Only 23 combatants for 75 DC right now. Yeah, the only way these guys are going to burn these cities is going to be by rallying them and swarming them and filling the rallies, and even then it's going to take a lot of troops. So, or just waiting for them to disconnect from the match. The singular outpost here, the only blue structure on the map. That looks to be very short-lived, as TT9 coming over from GT as Double C primary march, saying, I'm not just a provisioning killer. I too can take structures. Let's see how that fares. Does 75 DC retain their only building on the map? Is there a garrison inside the 75 DC outpost to vice it? We shall see. There is not. Double C takes the structure with Minna behind. YSS primary, the choice for garrison for Ducky. I've seen great results from Dido Heraclius as well. Maybe want to switch that up a little bit, especially considering you don't have equipment. Ooh, outpost retaken. 75 DC. Positioning hard towards their outpost Obelisk area again on the top lane. Massive fights over here. As we see Jan Ziska continuing to try and hold this, but it looks like possibly going to go down to 75 DC. Lots more marches here for 75 DC than 60 GT. There's another port in for 60 GT, which will help hold this even better. This outpost, the only differing color on the map, holding firm, possibly providing some points soon. Unfortunately for the blue team, it's not right now, as they have 0 points per minute versus 1120. Yep, these two folks left early. And that is all marches for 60 GT, grabbing their 10k points. Only 20 available combatants for 60 GT, as they will likely try and cycle their other backup players in, so they can also get 10,000 points and get the rewards. Outpost of Isit being defended heavily against this TT9 Double C led primary march. And when I say defended heavily, I mean they're all leaving and allowing TT9 to come over here and grab the outpost right back uncontested. Outpost all down in favor of the red team. Obelisk, however, 75 DC, grabbed it for just a moment. Did their very, very best to try and put some points in the per minute column. Unfortunately, it was very short-lived. 60 GT taking it right back and loading it back up with Jan Siska. Trying to hold this. Considering 2 of the 3 closest cities to the obelisk are red, should be decently doable. Just need to do a good job of refreshing your marches that are in there, alongside of cleaning up the open field, killing the swarming marches. Very difficult to do, all at the same time. Outpost. Blue blood. More marches coming out for the blue team, going down the field, going for the Hail Mary Obelisk play, trying to give them a taste of their own medicine. Fortunately, there are still cities there. Not sure if that's full, though. We'll have to see. Let's look at some of the marches on the field just to kind of get a taste for what these guys are choosing. I saw Scipio Liu Cheng. That's the new infantry commander. That's a very solid march. We do have Boudica Prime with Zhu Glang, who is also a very strong archer commander. Do have an Attila here being the choice from the blue team. Very curious on the Attila. Using Attila Takeda in the grand finals, not normally seen. They are strong open field. It's not the worst march in the world, but there are newer commanders out that do like 5 times the damage, so something you might want to consider using in your grand finals match next year, possibly. Lots of Guans, which of course is a mainstay in any open field march. We have Zenobia holding firm 5 seconds. Oh, and just like that, 75 DC denies the capture for 60 GT. Speaking of which, we do have a walk-off. The Arc carrier is red. And T1, evidently. Double C primary. Moving the chains. And moving right towards the desert altar. The standoff is real. And just like that, everything's red again. I'm hoping that I'm providing a little bit of entertainment for you guys, as this is obviously very one-sided at the moment. I hope you are all enjoying your weekends and are looking forward to 60 GT progressing to the finals, where they will fight whoever wins the other match of the day today, which is also available to watch on this channel. Make sure you bring up both of them. Don't just leave here. Don't get to hear my beautiful velvety voice. And instead, watch the circle hump that's happening at all of these outposts and buildings. And 6GT getting a lot of fun action swarming cities, which they like to do. Unfortunately, all of these players are 200 million power. Don't tend to see swarming happening on 200 billion power cities, but it does happen. And they are going down. And if you're using healing speed ups in this match, I got a feeling you may have to question your life choices. Still a lot of troops to go through. Outpost. Firmly in the hand of the blue team player here. Looking to garrison it and hold strong. At least generate some points. Looks like the... okay, here we go. They're finally arriving. Again. Attila Takeda, the choice. Questions are arising in my head. Was this forgotten move by this player and just getting swarmed down, or what? I mean, he's causing some pretty good counterattack damage. There's not a question about it. Problem is, look, he's taking 900 damage on his Nevsky versus 9,000 damage on his Attila. Again, newer choices are available. Attila Takeda is, in fact, a little outdated, but still usable. Just maybe not in the grand finals. KBK, Arc of Osiris, even early stage Osiris League. Love to see it. Grand finals, probably not, especially considering you have all the commanders available to choose from. 75 DC doing everything they can to maintain the possibility of getting some points per minute. Obelisk area firmly secured by 60 GT. Looks like the fight is slowly grinding to a halt as we see both teams hemorrhaging players. 19 to 20. Now the most even this fight has ever been. 19 to 20 in favor of 60 GT still. 30 points per minute. Solely coming from this building here in blue. Outpost area starting to get swarmed again. Superman coming over here. Trying to do what he can. Superman can only do so much, you know? Just maneuvering around the field. Look at the fluidity in the hips. Really able to shift direction at a moment's notice. Superman truly being super. Looking to come over here and swarm this obelisk down again. Even courteous, saying hello to everybody. Shifting directions, however. As the obelisk swarm begins and ultimately ends with Zenobia being the choice. Zenobia YSS being the choice, the obvious choice to swarm down a 60 GT Obelisk. Superman now running away, seeing the flood of GT marches coming from the Obelisk area. This is clearly a tactic. Superman leading them off to then turn around with those masterful movement moves and unleash his ultimate attack. That's what we're waiting on right now. However, looks like somebody forgot to tell him to turn around. There we go. Is there any alliance skills going to be used? That's the question. That's the question. For this particular fight, I would use all the alliance skills. Looks like, however, Superman might have found his kryptonite in Alano and his comrades. Well, let's look at this one. 60 GT continuing to swarm cities. There's a shocker. Don Ziska is the choice for the city garrison. Again, odd choice, considering you have access to all the leadership garrison commanders without requiring equipment. Again, I would think Dido, Heraclius. I mean, even a YSS in there would not be bad. Theodora is still usable. Interesting choice. Here comes another 60 GT player. They have 4 teleports available. 17 to 15. Now the turntables have turned. 75 DC having the majority of the players in the match right now. 17 to 15. Slight problem. Most of them are still in their home base because they have nowhere to go. Superman back out, saying that, is that all you got? I came here for a proper fight. Hidden Sentry being used by 75 DC. Down here. Is there any activity down here? Is there anybody down here? Well, now they know that there is, in fact, nobody down here. This obelisk ripe for the taking. Alongside of the Shrine of War. No visibility on the front of the base. It is 60 GT. November rain. Just sitting here racking up the kills. 243 million kill points. Getting fed. Devastating. $60 GT continuing to have a stranglehold on the points per minute game. 1180 to 0. The shutout really starting to come into play here. We have more marches coming out from the home base because, again, these cities can't go anywhere. They are stuck in their own base as there is nothing blue on the map. Again, nothing happening here from a rally or anything like that. So that's a thing. There is some provisioning still happening on the map as well, believe it or not. There's one player here. Also this player here. 17 to 13. Blue team's starting to really pour it on with the players coming in. Fortunately, can't get them on the field because everything is already red. 60 GT continuing to swarm this player here, down to 130 million power. Starting to get a lot more swarmable, especially with the right marches. And if this turns burning, the player doesn't know how to turn the burning off, which is 50-50 shot, really. Ark of Osiris is available, being grabbed by 60 GT. Surprise, surprise. This player continuing to get swarmed down, and again, it's starting to pay dividends. Although 372 million kill points is kind of a thing as well. This player may, in fact, become the MVP of the match, even though he has done no movement for quite some time. He's just sat there with the city. Doing my best to make sure that you guys are entertained. This player, this is what MVP looks like. This may actually get burned. We'll see. Looks like they will do it. More marches coming over here. Good marches. Good swarming marches. This will likely actually burn for the first time in the match. Now let's see if this player knows how to turn the fire off. We're going to figure it out. Figure it out together, chat. Just like that, fire has happened. True fire. And now the process begins again. Let's see if this player knows how to turn the fire off. Swarm's happening again. Superman doing his Superman thing. Getting some solid help from his teammate up above. No, we're not talking about Jesus. We're talking about Kwong. He is, in fact, coming to the party. It is now blue. We have a blue structure sighting for the first time in 10 minutes. 60 GT not liking that, saying, oh, okay, Yakuza time. GT called in the Yakuza squad, and just like that, marchers are over here to take this obelisk back. Never mess with the Yakuza. Oh, look at that. He did not know how to turn the fire off. How am I surprised? All right. No more November rain. November rain, you are gone. There you are. Good day, sir. Obelisk blue again, at least for the moment. Kuo Q-Ming, not the best garrison. In fact, will go down very quickly. Superman, noticing the dilemma that he is in, sends a prospective march to the open field where he sees his obelisk go down in favor of 60 GT. Now coming over to the aid of Huang. Superman attacking Zenobia. Did we have a Lubu sighting? I'm not familiar with seeing that. Maybe I missed it. If there was a Lubu sighting and I did not announce it, I apologize, because that's definitely worth notating in this effective commentary for 58,000 to 3,000 point win of 60 GT as they continue to step on the throat of 75 DC on the move to the finals match, where they will face the winner of the other match happening at 15 UTC today. I believe that's 93T versus 489. Whoever wins that match will be facing 60 GT in the grand finals, where they will again look to win victory for their houses. Still blue at the moment. 30 seconds. It's quite a long time for there to be a blue structure on the map. 60 GT not liking that. Taking it right back for the red house. Throwing Zenobia back in there again. Problem is now 60 GT has to start all over on these cities. Knocking November rain out. Understanding that some people just don't know how to turn the fire off. This player, however, holding very strong with a more proper garrison of Heraclius primary. Again, Flavius is good. Maybe not the best, but good. This player has 265 million kills. Let's see what November Rain has. 441. So that's going to basically do it. 10 minutes remain in this enticing and ultimately fun-filled matchup. If you have questions in chat, I will be happy to answer them. Fortunately, they will also be 10 minutes late. So 10 minutes left in the match. By the time I answer your question in chat, the match will have been over, but I will answer your questions. I'll be happy to. Zenobia looking to continue to hold firm. Again, questionable optimized choice, but still doable. Is Zenobia. There's 6 teleports available. However, is there any cities? I don't think there are. There are no cities, in the back here for 60 GT. Just how many players are left? 11 from 60 GT versus the 17 from 75 DC. But again, at what cost? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the map. The rest are all in the base. They're not able to teleport because they can't hold the obelisk long enough to teleport into it, as we see this obelisk again go down in favor of the red team. Outpost, however, under heavy assault from Mr. Nawat. 3 solid open field marches plus the 1 inside. 1 minute, 10 seconds until this starts taking points for the blue team, narrowing that gap by just a smidge. Obelisk again, turning blue. TXC Wolfie says, Drago, did you play KBK? I did, as well as does 60 GT and 75 DC. Everybody that is in this matchup on the stream is and has been, in fact, in KBK. Superman losing his power as continued exposure to kryptonite. Not helpful. Now, Wong coming and doing the solo act, trying his best to one-man army this thing. Superman not having anything of it. Needs to replenish his powers. These 2 players here also observing the fireworks from outside. Superman saying, no, I just can't do it. I need to come into the aid of my brethren as he comes to start trying to swarm the obelisk down as well. Maybe enough to take it back to blue. You just never know. If I was 60 GT, 1, I would be moving on to the finals of the grand finals, which would be amazing. 2, I would chalk this up to a victory. 3, blue wouldn't have to do anything. 7 minutes left. There's now 30 points generating for the blue team because of this outpost. And this Mr. Nawat says, these are my 30 points. 60 GT cannot have them. And I will defend this until my dying breath. With Guan. With Sargon. With the new Archer Commander. And with Henry. And with somebody else who is in here as well. Problem is, nobody's coming. Because it looks like nobody cares. 60 GT continuing to be all over the map, including the front of the gate of 75 DC. Superman replenishing his stores, waiting the next time to come out and secure and seize this obelisk. Everybody got their 10,000 points except for Mr. Nawat. What are you doing? Mr. Nawat, go and fight somebody so you can get your 10,000. There we go. Avoiding the use of expansion as well, the army expansion, is Mr. Nawat. Mr. Nawat saying no to drugs and not expanding his armies. He has decided today is the day for me to make my mark. And I will march to wherever. I will do what is necessary to take this obelisk back. Because as you can see, I can take structures with this outpost. Obelisk ticking down 10 seconds. Not going to quite get there to stop the capture from 60 GT, but will possibly get there to harass it back to the blue team. Unfortunately, his comrade is in dire straits from Yakuza. Superman, does he super help or does he super stare? One March leading the charge. Mr. Nawat, no army expansion, coming towards the Obelisk. Tapping. Losing. Eye of the Tiger, though. Kuza, not seeing any kind of threat from Mr. Nawat's first march. Then changing his mind, coming back over to swarm it down. But here comes the 4 marches of the structure taker himself, Mr. Nawat. Coming over to the Obelisk. Now there's a real threat. Does Superman join in the fight? Huang does. He's coming down hard with his Heraclius. Is that a Herald Heraclius? No. That's a Jan Ziska Heraclius. Okay. I was about to have another day. Superman, however, saying I'm not needed. And Mr. Nawat doing what the people want. Being the hero that 75 DC needed. Mr. Nawat YOLO soloed this Obelisk down. Now, can they keep it? Doesn't look like that's the case. And just like that, Mr. Nawat loses his foothold on the top lane Obelisk. And with it, the hopes and dreams of a realm wanting to beat the realm of Anubis. Mr. Nawat, paralyzed with a sense of pride, as the Obelisk now is in fact blue again. Another art capture coming for 60 GT. CC, using CC, going to the OP, so they can say GG at the end of this match. Both obelisks now blue. Things are heating up with 2 minutes remaining in this match. An arc being captured on your opponent's outpost. Ethelfled primary again, very interesting choice. We do have obviously the buffing and debuffing duo of Trajan Ethelfled, or Ethelfled Trajan in this case. Again, just not my choice, but you know, when you've got the arc and you can walk it anywhere you want with T1 March, it's not really my place to say now, is it? When you do what you want, you do what you want. You get away with it. So, here we are. This player's starting to say, you know what? I don't like you being over here, Blake. I think I want you gone. Unfortunately for Libra, who is back in the home base here, that's your only shot, because you're not going to make it back within 1 minute. You're way too far gone. Obelisk area will not be captured before the end of the match. Boudica Prime doing everything she can. Superman seeing the weakness coming out, and now can start swarming open field marches because it is in fact blue. Unfortunately, Mr. Nawat, the hero of 75 DC, is not here to see it. He may be coming back though. Nope, we see Poppy Jackal coming in his stead. TCCC in the same line could possibly swarm him down before he arrives. We do see Mr. Nawat coming back up. However, with 8 seconds remaining, he will not see the fruits of his labor, as this obelisk is in fact blue. But he does not get to enjoy in its fruits. Victory for 60 GT. November Rain with the 400 and something million kills by doing nothing and sitting there and not turning off his fire. November Rain 75 being the most valuable player. We go to the battle summary and we see quite the story. Ark of Osiris score at 20,000 points for 60 GT, 55,788 points on the occupation score. They did heal units, 3.66 million units, likely T1s though, with it being such a nice clean number. The severely wounded units tell the tale, which is very curious because it's so even. But a lot of this is due to 60 GT actually swarming down cities of 75 DC, which evened out what was likely to be, if it was truly on the field, a 3-1 margin in favor of 60 GT. 75 DC did not really have a chance because all their players didn't show up. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. I'll go ahead and hop on the camera as well to say goodbye to you all. I will see you guys next week, where we get to see the winner of this match, 60 GT, facing whoever, because I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet, whoever won 93T versus 489's match. My pleasure to cast for you today, albeit I had to make my own fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed that fun. See you guys next time. Cheers, have a good one, and take care.